Hello everyone, welcome back to another video, and in this video I will discuss with you about the CSS display properties. So we have bunch of different display properties, and we have inline block, we have inline, we have block, we have none, right? So let's discuss with you all of these CSS display properties using examples so that you can understand well. So here you can see I have an HTML file, so I will write here HTML, and inside it, let's say I want to add a div. So inside the div I will say this is a div, okay, and here I want to set a class. I will say here div1, and now in the title, under the title I will say here style to write CSS or do styling, and here I will access the div class, and that is div1. So I will put dot at first and then class name and then curly braces, and inside it I will say set a background color actually. So yeah, so here background color I will say here red, and if I open it in browser, here you can see we have a div here and it takes whole width, right? Let's say I want to add here an anchor tag, and here I will say reference hash, and here I will say click here, and here I will say, let's say I want to give it a class link a, and here I will access this class giving dot then link a, and here I will say text decoration none. And now if I go to the browser and refresh here, now you can see, okay, let me just set a background color here, right, so that you can understand well. And here I will say background color green or gray, and if I refresh, now you can see the div actually takes whole width, but the anchor tag actually take a little width. Actually it takes width what it's need actually, but the div takes whole widths, and you can see we have a huge gap in the right side. So this div is called block, and this is called inline block. If I set here span, let's say span, and I said here that this is span, main span, and here I will say background color green, and if I go to the browser, now you can see this is also acting like inline block. But is it inline block or inline? So if you want to check it, you just have to, as I mentioned, that you just have to add padding, and if it is working, then it is inline block, otherwise it is inline, not inline block. So here I have added padding of 20 pixel, let's say, and if I refresh, now you can see it is also an inline block. Okay, now if I set it block, now you can see it takes whole width, right? And whenever I set our div1 as display inline, and if I refresh, now you can see this div actually take the width actually it's needed, right? But the span is now taking whole width because we have set this is span as block and our div as inline. So I hope you understand the difference between display inline block and so on. So here you can see we have an inline block. We have set our display as inline. So let me just add a margin here, let's say of 20 pixel. I want to add margin, and here we can see that it's adding margin, but not in the bottom or top. It just add margin in the left. If I say here bottom, if I refresh, now you can see it's not giving any space under it, the bottom side. So when it is inline, you cannot add margin bottom or margin top. Let me show you margin top, let's say 300 pixel, but it will not work. See the result, but only work for for the left and right. Let's say for the margin right, I would say 200 pixel. If I refresh, now you can see it creates 200 pixel of space in the right side. But if you want to access this bottom and top property, you just have to say here inline block, and now you can access the top and bottom. So if I refresh now, you can see it's create space in the top and space in the bottom, this div, because now we have set our div as inline block, but div is actually by default a block. But here we have firstly said that our display for the div one should be inline block. Now it's act as inline block, but span is inline block by default, but we have set a display block for the span, and now it's act like a block. See, it takes whole width.